What's up guys, Jake Verdon Tech here, and today we're going to be talking about the Canon EOS R, and more specifically its high frame rate mode, which is 120 FPS in 720p. Is this footage usable or not? We'll find out here in this video. So lately I've been watching a lot of YouTube videos with Daniel Schiffer and Peter Lindgren where they do a lot of short film stuff, and they're usually doing it in 120 FPS. And I do have that on the EOS R, which I'm filming on right now, but it's only in 720p, whereas the cameras they're using are usually 1080p, I believe, on their Sony cameras. But I wanted to experiment with this a little bit more, so I did a short cinematic sequence, which I'll show you here in just a couple seconds. And it is in 720p, so I wanted to do an experiment. Is this footage usable or not, especially right now here in 2020, where a lot of cameras are 1080p, 4K, and then your cinema cameras are obviously going to be above 4K. So how good does the 720p still stand up right now? So I'm going to go ahead and roll the cinematic sequence. It's just a short film of me filming my sister baking some cupcakes. And it's all shot in 120 FPS, 720p on the Canon EOS R, and the lens I use is the 50mm 1.8. So I shot that the whole entire sequence, so you guys can really get a feel of how that 720p footage, 120 frames per second, looks on the EOS R, especially if you're considering buying this camera or maybe some of the Sony options that have a little bit higher quality when it comes to the 120 FPS. Alrighty guys, so that was the sequence in 720p, 120 frames per second. What did you think? I thought it looked really good. I think it holds up really well. I've even played it on a 1920 by 1080 monitor, and it doesn't look like pixel density is an issue. And usually footage holds up on the bigger displays. When you start getting down into mobile devices like your smartphones, tablets, the footage will look even better. A couple other things to consider too on this cinematic sequence that I just played. I didn't use any sort of color grading or LUTs. That is all the Canon's in-body colors. And another reason why this footage looks really good is because the EOS R, although that is only 720p, it shoots at a very high bit rate. So even your lower quality like 720 and your 1080 footage is gonna be kind of upscaled looking. So even though 720 is a much lower resolution, it'll look much higher quality, and I think it's a good combination between the high bit rate and Canon's color profile. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. So is the EOS R something you would consider, especially if you shoot a lot of 120 FPS footage, or would you sway towards something like along the lines of a Sony, which has the 1080p 120 FPS, or maybe a step up from in the Canon lineup like the 1DX2. So hopefully this video helped you guys out a little bit and gave you a little bit deeper insight to what the Canon EOS R has to offer when it comes to the 120 FPS high frame rate mode. As always guys, thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.